There it is. What's going on, everybody? Brian, what's going on? First one to say hello. How we doing? How we doing? I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people end up rolling in a little bit late today. I did kind of happen to say in the video today that this was at 9:30, but yeah, I spoke incorrectly. Dang, Brian jumping right into it. I love it. What's up, David? How you doing, man? But not gonna lie, I didn't expect to see you here. All right, I'm just kind of getting settled. I was actually still eating barbecue pork sliders. Apparently, it's really bright in here. What's wrong with it? What we got going on? Just kidding. You like that? I couldn't find one that really just looked better. I was like, I'll just go with this one. It's kind of a classic. Let's say I'm going to scalp a trade long side. Is this the correct hotkey I should set? Route equal limit. Price equal ask plus 4. TIF equal day plus. So are you looking to trade intraday or pre-market and post-market? Because if you have day plus, that's going to be for pre-market and post-market. So you would have to take the plus out of there. Excuse me. But the rest of that looks right. Let me make my own real quick and see if it works. Or see if it comes out to be the same. Let's see. Buy. Ask plus 4, which is completely fine. Route. We'll use the limit. Load and send. So route equal limit, which is what you got. Price equals ask plus 4. TIF equal, or I guess you don't really need the TIF, to be honest. I would just leave it blank. And then buy equal send. There you go. But if you want to leave the TIF in there, just take the plus sign out of there. I wouldn't be. It depends, David. I think on CMEG that's not the case. Because if you remember back on my KPTI trade, when we had a big issue with that, that was why. And they made it, they actually changed that because of me. CMEG had to implement something with their day and day plus because of what happened with me. Yeah. So just to be safe, I know for CMEG, day is intraday. Day plus is pre-market and post-market. Tom, what's up, man? What's up, son? Son. How you doing? What is this tinkering, AM? What are you talking about? I'm not tinkering. I was helping out Brian. Yep, no problem, Brian. Yeah, if I were you, honestly, I would just leave the TIF out of there, and you don't even have to worry about it. That way, you're just you only got to worry about those 3 things. Eating, bored, thought I'd stop in. You want a barbecue pork slider or a chocolate chip cookie that apparently the green screen doesn't like? Ow. They're homemade. My mom made them. You want to see something even more beautiful? Shock top. Oh, God, that one's on there. Yeah, like David said, if you are going to leave the TIF out, make sure that it's correct in the montage. Because anytime you leave something out of a hotkey, it's going to use what's in the montage. So make sure you do that. Happy cookies. I wish. Do you have any happy cookies? That was a really good cookie. I guess the light is too bright, but I have to have it bright for the green screen to work, but it is not like the anything that's up close, apparently. See if it likes my hand. Yeah, see, it doesn't even like my hand. Well, it's not too bad, I guess. Yeah, this is my favorite beer of all time. If I could get somebody to sponsor the channel, it would be Shock Top. They say put the light between you and the green screen, like behind me. I don't think so. I mean, I have a light over there, and then I have a light right there for my face. The best thing to do would be to have two lights, one there and one there, but I only have one light. Well, I have the second light, but that's a much smaller light. Like, that's an actual, it's, let me just try, I wonder if I can just show, oh no, it won't bend that way. It's an LED light, and I covered it to make it more of a soft light. But yeah, I need to get another one of those, but they're kind of pricey, and I don't want one of those big old, like, huge box soft box lamps, whatever they're called. I think they're called soft boxes. I think light box. I don't remember. I don't want one of those because they're too big, and I don't have anywhere to put them. I don't have enough room as it is. The reason I like that one is because it's like tall and skinny, and it can fit on a tripod behind my desk, and it shines right back, which is nice. Constantine, what's up, man? Why don't you ask the production guy? Yeah, David, hit me. Is what AN's saying correct? Should I have them in between me and the green screen? Man, I love Shock Top. Anytime I go somewhere and they don't have Shock Top, I just don't even drink. I just get water. Like, That's why I love going to baseball games. Go watch the Orioles because they have Shock Top there. I just sit there and throw my money down the drain, eating Shock Top or drinking Shock Top. See, I'm a production guy now because that's exactly what I got going on. That one over there is lighting the green screen, and then the one in front of me is lighting my face. See, I know what I'm doing. I think that one's just too bright. But this one is also helping with the green screen because, like, this top corner up here, that light doesn't hit all the way over there. So it leaves like a dead spot, I guess is the best way to say it. I don't really know. And you could like see it up in here. So yeah, that's kind of why I positioned the light where it is. But anyways, that's not what you guys are here for, right? I hope not. Let me pull this over here. Do that. Do this. Do that. Do this. Do that. Alrighty. Hit that like button on the way in, shall we? Shall we? Let's talk about routing. Like, what kind of routing? Like, wire transfers? Bank routing? Oh, IB routing. First off, donations are always on. Secondly, I want everybody to welcome back Jonathan from Circuit Coin. He was off serving our country in his way for the last, man, that's been a while. Was it 6 months? 3 months? 6 months? It was like right when COVID kind of started, right? Ish. It's been a while. Like 4, 5, 6, one of those. 3, 4, 5, 6. I just wanted to welcome him back. He is now back. Yeah. Cryptocurrency's kind of doing a thing, so interested to see where that leads us. It's been a while. Yeah, he's not allowed to talk about it or else he'd have to kill us. I'm not going to be doing shots tonight, but I will take like more chugs of beer than I would normally would if we get some some donos. I am planning on drinking this 6-pack tonight, so, well, maybe not. Maybe like 4 of them. But I guess if we get the donos going, then it'll probably be all 6. Donation didn't pop up on the screen? Uh-oh. Oh, you know why? Hold on. Because on this screen, I have it turned off because I don't have anything up there but the chart. I got you. I got you. Hold on. Excuse me. Burping and farting all over the place. Like, trying to finish this. I was not hungry earlier. I went to Chipotle for lunch, and it was a late lunch. It was like 2 o'clock. So I wasn't really hungry for dinner. And now I finally got hungry. Perfect timing, right? So you guys can hear me chewing your mouth. Chewing your mouth. Chewing your ear. Let's see. My overlays. I guess let's duplicate this one. Yes. Baby bird it. Believe it or not, my mother is here. She's in the other room on her phone. She came down here. Maybe I would baby bird it. No, I would not. That would be absolutely disgusting. I'm not doing that. Maybe when Brian gets here. Sounds like something he'd like to see. All right. Let's close that alert box. There we go. Save. Copy overlay Earl. Properties. Oh, my shirt's like all yucky all of a sudden for some reason. Backspace. Do that. Do this. Turn it on. And I think we're on the last step here. Maybe. There it is. Lone Wolf with the 10 baller. Lone Wolf, I appreciate you. You know that. Again, welcome back. Keep those coming. Can I discuss algo trading? Ooh, that's a good one. I could. You know what? Let's see. I can probably see if I can do it without you guys seeing it. Not that I care that much, but nope. There you go. There's the one that I've been using. Fail. Anyways, here. I'll just actually let me make sure it doesn't show my yeah, see, he didn't update that yet. It still shows my password. Can't be showing that. All right. So, I don't know if it'll let me log in right now. Let's find out. It does. Okay. So, does it use i3? No, it does not use i3. The reason I don't like this is because you can't hit the bid with it. So, I forgot that was on my screen. Hold on. I don't like that you can't hit the bid with it. So basically, like, let me pull up the snap trade here just for instance, if I wanted to get into this snap trade, I would have to assume where I think this is going to top, and then I would have to then put my orders into this according to that. So I would go snap, it'll give me the current price. I would put in how many entries it can go from 1 to, I guess it can go as many as you want. I haven't tested that. I don't think I've ever used more than 5 or 6. I think 5 is usually what I've been going for. But like, let's say the price was getting extended. Say we saw the alert on ISW on this candle. It started to go through 40, and we would have to basically pick a spot where we'd be comfortable starting this. So we would say like 40. It's probably not going to let me do this because this thing even went after hours. Let's do it based off of here so you guys can actually see it. So like, let's just say this was a para move, right? At the end of the day, and we're interested in this up at 44.50. So we would have to go 44.50, and then we'd have to put our stop loss in of like, I don't know, say we're looking at the range and we want it to be like we think. This was at all-time high, so it's kind of hard. We'll just go 45.01 to go right over 45. Actually, let's just do 45.50. And then down here, this is where you would change what you want. So custom max loss, this is what you would put in. And as you can see right now, it's set to 500, which I hate that he has all this on this one page. I thought I had this set to 50. Max Unreal. It's okay. We'll just, it doesn't really matter because you can change that. Basically, you can change these so they're set to a certain thing before you even start a trade. So like if you always want it to be a certain amount, you can, but for some reason it must have defaulted back. But so you change it to 50, you can see here. So the difference is $1. It'll tell you with 5 entries that you'll get an entry every 20 cents. Your max loss is $50. It's going to give you a total of 85 shares over the course of those 5 entries. Your average entry is going to put you at 44.91, and then your total cost. So by the time you're done adding, or if you get all 5 of these entries, your average will be 44.91, and then total cost, if you look at it that way. So you're risking 1.3% based off of what the current equity is in your account is what it's going off of there. So then, if all that's right. And again, you have to input all this on the fly. So if you're trying to do all of this as the stock's moving, by the time you even enter this it could have shot through 44.50 and it could be already up at 45.50, like if it was going that fast per se. So that's kind of the downfall of this, is it doesn't have that ability to say input, say this is your parameters, and then being able to hit the bid on that specific ticker and then implementing all of this in afterwards. Like that would be awesome. And that's something he said he's going to try to implement into the software in the future. And I told him if you get that in there, it'd be something I'd be really interested in, because this is basically what I do anyways. The only thing that is different is when I look to scale in, I do more of a 1-1-2. Where this is set to just do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, like because it's all evenly spaced. But the big difference between what I do versus what this would do is, let's see if it'll place the orders. Can only place strategies pre-market and market hours, so it's not going to let me post them during this. But what it would do is it would literally pop an order up. Let me, I guess I can just use. Let me use this. It'd be easier. like Snap. Yeah, Snap wasn't very nice to most people today. All right. So the first one would be at 44.50. I'm going to have to do this. That should be good. So 44.50, it would put an order here. Mark it red because that's what it would be. So put an order there, 44.50, 44.70, 44.90, 44.10, and 45.35. So it would put your orders out evenly spaced, just like that. And obviously your max loss is right there, 45.50. So if you decide to get in on a para, and that's the other thing, is you can't place these orders below the current price. So you always have to place it above. So if you're trying to feel out the top like I do, you're not going to be able to do that because you can't hit the bid. You're always going to have to kind of guess where you think the top's going to be. And I'm going to get into what this is better for here in a second. But when, say it does come up and touch 44.50, you're going to see that the cover is down here at 42.27. So we actually, hold on, we have to change that. And this is where some other stuff comes into play too. Man, I didn't want to get rid of all of it. Dang it. What was it? 44.50, 70, 90, 10, and 35. And then our stop loss is here. Okay. So then what we would do down here, this gain to cover, basically that's telling you you're going to have to fiddle with this too, because each one's going to be different based off of the price and how volatile it is. So the lower you go, you can see the cover gets closer and closer. And you don't want it to be too far away, right? Because then you would never hit it. But as you can see, the way that this was moving, if it comes up to 44.50, you would probably want your take profit to be somewhere around this like 44.22 area. So let's see if we can get to that, because I think it only goes down to 1%. It's also based, a lot of this is based on DOS and what DOS allowed for this guy to do. And because the whole point of this is that you are controlling it. There's no, like, it doesn't do it for you kind of thing. Like, you have to input everything. You have to decide everything. The trade is all based on what you do to it. It's not like, hey, you put this in. I mean, it does have its defaults, but those defaults don't really mean anything. It's your job to come in here and really modify it based off of your strategy. So we set around that 44.22. So the lowest we can go is 1%. So at 44.05. So we would have to, if this was going, which that's actually really not that unreasonable with how this was moving today. Well, let's change this to green. So if 44.50 got hit, it would then immediately throw out an order at 44.05. So it would put an order right here. And then if it hit 44.27, 44.25 would be an order, which is right here. And then if 44.90 gets hit, 44.45 would be an order. So you would have an entry, an entry, an entry, and then you'd have a cover, and a cover. So as this thing's climbing, what the algo does is, how many times do you see me in a stock where it'll go up and then it'll kind of come down a little bit and then go back up and then come down a little bit and then go back up? Well, that's what this is doing, is it's capturing all that little back and forth. So granted, this might not be the best stock because the range it's not volatile enough, because 50 cents is a lot for it to move that quickly. But they're stocks, and this is geared more towards like the lower price stocks, but where it kind of, like, when it hits the top, you'll see it go like this, like 20 cents, 20 cents, 20 cents, 20 cents, 20 cents. Well, an algo like this would just keep capturing it. So say it comes up here to 44.90, or, well, let's just say 44.50, comes down, touches that 44.05, gives you the cover, it immediately puts that same order right back out there. And then say it goes back up and hits it again and then comes down again. It's going to do the same thing over again. And then if it goes up to 44.70, comes down and touches 44.05 again, it's going to cover both of those orders, and then it's going to start all over again. And basically, you have to keep up with it too, because if you don't have the conviction that that's the top, it's going to just keep going until it stops you out if you don't do something about it, basically. So if you realize that the trade is no longer doing what you want it to do, it's then your job where you can come into over here, you can go to orders overview, and then you can come down here, symbol, you can cancel by symbol. You can just hit cancel all if you only have like one going at the time, or if you have a bunch and you just kind of want to get out. So yeah, let me catch up, make sure I'm not missing any actual questions. Isn't algo trading computer code written to trade automatically? I mean, yeah. I mean, that's basically what this is. This guy designed this program to do everything for you. All you would do is kind of input your parameters, and it does everything else for you. It parks all these orders at once. Yeah. Exactly. And that's exactly what it's doing, is it's capturing the in-between. It's capturing when it goes up and down like this over and over and over again. Instead of me, where, you know, I'm getting in at the top, and while it's doing all that, I'm looking for it to make that final move down. Somebody's in the middle there with something like this, just getting paid. I mean, that's kind of what this is for. I'll actually show you a video of his here in a second, just to kind of give you an idea. But I mean, that's really the basic idea of how this thing works. It's nothing special. It just kind of automates your strategy. Now, what it's good for, absolutely nothing. No, I'm just kidding. What it's good for, I'm trying to think of one that was a hangover today. Anybody remember a stock that was a hangover today? I mean, I guess, no. Well, yeah, here we go. Let me get rid of these. So let's take Apple, for instance. You got the highs here, but let's say we're going to use the highs from the pre-market. And then it came down, and then it decided, I mean, this isn't your typical hangover, but this is a good example. Snap was not a hangover. Or, well, actually, it kind of was, wasn't it? Not really. Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of started to die. I mean, we can use Snap. Oh, no, let's go back to Apple. This is a little bit easier to look at. So say we have the pre-market high, right? What you could do is you go into the algo, and you would say, put Apple in. It shows us current price or whatever. Like, say we're right around here. We could put our stop loss right above this area, right? So 116.66. So we say we could put it at 116, or yeah, 116.71. So let's put our first entry. We're looking for it to like pop above, so we'll say 116.40. So this is going to actually be pretty poor on the percentage. 116.40. We'll just stick with 5. Doesn't really matter. Stop loss above that 116.70. And so it's only actually going to give us one share or one entry, because that's all we can afford with the $50 max loss. But basically what this is going to do is it's going to scale in. And where's the cover? Yeah, see, that's too far away. So the volatility on this, obviously, let's see if we upped this. Let's just say 5,000, for instance. No, it still doesn't let us. I guess it's just because it's too close. Because the entry's only every 31 seconds. Oh, good crack. Brad, what's up, man? Jag, how you doing? Camille, how you doing? Seeing you guys pop in here. No, you can't program a 112. That was actually something like I had mentioned to him as well. It'd be nice if you could do that, but I don't see why you wouldn't be able to in his situation, because really nothing changes, especially if you have the proper, like, all it is coding, right? I guess on his end, but because all you would do is 1-1, and then you would have a double, right? And it would still all just be math. So I don't really see why that wouldn't be a possibility, but unfortunately, I guess not. But anyways, real quick, this is kind of what this is used for, is like the back end of trades. I mean, let's go back to Snap real quick. So when Snap finally looked like it was done, right? I was sitting here watching this all morning, and I mean, it never made a higher low. It just kept rising. Even here, it still made a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And then right here, finally we broke down, right? I guess you could technically use this one, right? So when it broke here, and it finally made a lower high as well. That was the first lower high that it made. It finally looked like it was done. And it finally broke through. Everyone's like, finally, this thing's done. Well, what you could do, right, is you could enter on the break of this, and you could either risk here, you could risk high of day. It's really up to you what you'd want to risk. But that's what this is for, right? You can get in looking for this kind of entry, and then having a good risk off, because you already have parameters set in place. But if you're playing the front side, it's almost impossible, because when you're playing the front side and you're trying to nail the tops, you got to be able to hit the bid, and if you can't hit the bid, then it's just not going to work. You can't just sit there and guess. And you guys saw it throughout the week. I was trying it on demo, and the few times that I tried it, it just always bit me in the ass, because you're basically just guessing. You're guessing where the top's going to be, and you can't. We should all know by now that you can't do that. Yeah, I mean, this was a pretty good pullback. This was a pretty good pullback. I mean, at this point, this thing was just grinding all morning. After that initial pop, and obviously I'm glad I got out, but it just grinded. It was all morning, that thing. It felt like algos were running this thing the way that it was going. And the one that was really dirty was this one right here. I was watching this live. This was so dirty. Right here. So this move, let me zoom in just a little bit more. So it's not going to look like much, but this move right here, these two candles, this thing finally looked like up top where it was done, right? It looked like it came down, and then right here, it looked like it came up, and it tried to squeeze back up the high day, just like it had been doing all morning, but it got faked out, right? It got hammered down. And then what happens? Look, what's the low here? The low here was, actually, I don't want to put that in there. Oh, come on. The low here was 40.62. They drove the price down to 40.60 to make it look like, okay, that's the top right here, 40.91, or well, this was the top right here, 41.08. This was the lower high, and now we're going to break that level, just like it did up top, right? That's what everyone was looking for. Well, look at this candle bar, or the volume bar that came in here. They ate that liquidity up so hard. It was such a fake out. Like, just watching that, I was like, wow, that was dirty. I think every retail trader thought that this was like where it was finally going to start to come down a little bit and like really pull back. And they hammered it down, went 2 cents below that low, just to make you think that, okay, yep, we broke that area, we're going lower. And then they bought that thing right up. They held it, and then look at what it did the rest of the morning. That move right there, I was sitting in Discord talking to Devin saying that was dirty. That was so dirty. But yeah, it felt very algo driven, and that, especially that move right there, felt kind of manipulated. But yeah, snow GPS. Oh yeah, snow is a really good hangover. So this is what a hangover is, guys. If you're kind of new and you don't really know what a hangover is, it has a really good day the day before, and then it kind of just doesn't gap up. Not kind of doesn't. It just doesn't gap up. And yeah, it just falls over. That's a hangover. It got pretty drunk the night before. It had a really good night, and then it realized the next morning that it went a little too far, and they kind of hang over. And yeah, so this is what I was talking about, right? You have these highs from yesterday. You have the highs from pre-market. Whichever ones you want to use, you can risk off of any of them. But that's kind of what that algo would be good for, is having that set area to risk off of. Yeah, the fake out. That's why people were always like, "Oh, I play this pattern and that pattern." I'm like, "Okay, you keep playing those patterns." B, what you got? Cheers, man. Did I just fart? What are you talking about? Man, David knows me all too well. GPS. Yeah, this is a good one that actually popped at the bell and then dropped. Cheetos and whiskey. Not bad. I had barbecue sliders and a chocolate chip cookie. Feel like that's a little better than Cheetos. But yeah, that's really the basis of this thing. But I honestly, until there's the possibility of hitting the bid with it, I don't see it working out for me. I made the fart face on purpose. I didn't know you could hear me actually turn the mic off though. I thought that was I thought that was silent. I guess it probably clicks. Don't judge me. I was trying to be polite. Trying to be polite, man. All right. So what was I gonna? I don't even think I really was gonna do anything. I mean, I had my snap trade today. There was really nothing to talk about there. Oh, that was the one thing. Probably not this weekend because I'm gonna be busy with the kids all weekend. But next weekend, I'm most definitely, maybe even at some point during the week, I'm gonna make that DOS video I've been promising everybody. I tried to get some help from the ISW room this afternoon on what they would like to see in a DOS video, and it didn't go too well. So while we're all here, if anyone's using DOS and you have any questions on how to use DOS or would you like to know anything in specific, let me know. Let me know so that I can include that in the video. But I'm pretty much going to attempt to go through as much as possible. I'm going to try to just do everything. I'm basically going to start fresh with what you would see if you first loaded up DOS and just try to walk through everything the best that I can. Never ask a serious question in the ISW lounge. And then you ask it in the ISW live and you just get spam botted. The bot spams you like, you are not supposed to ask that in here. Do not. Security alert. Someone accessed my Google account. Google alert. Google alert. Someone has logged in. It was me, dummy. Hey, there's my mama. I'm starting to think that you two got something going on. Something you guys gotta tell me. I'm gonna start calling B. I'm gonna start calling him D for dad. If only I could be that lucky. This one's already almost gone. Jeez. Without my mom, guys, none of this would be possible. Without my mom and a very drunk night on New Year's Eve 35 years ago. Memories. I don't even pay attention to that, David. I'm glad you guys do. Oh, speaking of you, AA, Graham Stefan, Graham Steven. Oh, it cracks me up. What was it? Yeah, it was Akba. This is the one that you missed today, and I was saying, man, you would have loved to trade this one. It made me think of you. Because of your name. It cracked me up. I'm curious about automated risk management in DOS. Is it possible to enter a stop and entry price so it sizes your position automatically and puts in a stop order when you enter? You know, it is possible. Sorry, I'm like feeling myself. It is possible, but it's kind of difficult because I'm pretty sure I have a button like that. Hold on. Let me look. I made a button like this with Constantine not that long ago, and man, that thing was a POS. But it did work. It would basically enter and put a stop in for you. But it would also put a take profit in, I think. I think it was a range order. AEL was the one, baby. Dollar bills in seconds. When did that happen? Oh, wow. Look at that thing. These things scare me. These are exactly the ones I stay away from. I feel like every time I've played an afternoon move that looked exactly like this, it just kept on going. Like I get in here and it'd be a top tick for about a second. It would come down like 20 cents, 30 cents, and then just keep on going. I was scared. Reminds me of LYV and a couple others. I know. I do remember that. I was like just uploading my video or something, and Brian was like, "I'm gonna go grab some grub," and then he's just like, "AEL," and I was like, "Oh, one for the road." Yeah, but I mean, if you only do one entry, even if you hit it at 29 or well 28.80, and this thing goes up to 31, and one entry ain't gonna do you any good. I mean, because that it could retrace down to 29.20 and you're still red. Well, yeah, obviously you have set risk. I get that, but I feel like these afternoon plays, I've lost even with set risk. I would hit max loss more often than I don't, just because I just have a really bad. I have really bad statistics when it comes to afternoon trades. Yeah, you're right. It could go to infinity. I'm scared. I had a bad experience.
This dude got dogs. I don't do dogs. I had a real bad experience, man.
What happened?
I had a bad experience. Damn it. I'm deaf.
That's where that's from. If anybody didn't know. Let me finish Bart's question. I didn't mean to go away from you, Bart. I'm still here. Is it possible to enter a stop and entry price so it sizes your position automatically and puts a stop order when you enter? All right, let me. I'm pretty sure. I wish Constantine was here because I'm pretty sure we had a button for that. I have it set right now. Here it is, range order hotkey. This hotkey will update the stop based on the set risk and send target order at 1R against high of day. This hotkey will enter position with set risk, put the stop at high of day, and send target order at 1R based on current bid. Okay, so this is the one that I was talking about. This is the one that I was using for a little while when I was trying to do one entry. Oh, look at Brad here. What's this, Brad? You will buy $1,200 worth of a stock and an auto stop will go in. Okay, so I see the $1,200 worth of the stock. Stop price, average cost. So you're doing 2%? So you're doing a stop at 2%. Okay, yeah. Click faster. What do you mean click faster? God, my pinky freaking hurts. So here's the one that I had. Oh, it's 3 it's 3 characters too long. I obviously can't get rid of anything. Actually, I probably could get rid of the TIFF, right? We don't need the TIFF. Okay, there we go. Short will be opposite, so that's why it's 1.02%. Right. I understand how that works. I was just reading it out loud for anyone that might not know what the 1.02 is. So it would be 0.98. Yeah, that was actually a good question by Brian. So if you hit it again, stop, it would say your average cost. So you would think it would take that into account if it's average cost, but will it account for the average? I guess it is, because you're triggering the order after the first order. So it would take your average cost and then do 2%. But every time you add, if it's 2% of that add, then it wouldn't work. You would basically just be raising it. Every time you add, you would just be raising it up higher. So you wouldn't essentially have a set risk. It would just be it would just be 2% over and over again. You could just add into oblivion and it would always be 2%. It would just be 2% of your new average, which wouldn't really make sense. The whole point is you're looking to risk 2% based off of that $1,200 on one entry. So if you hit the button again, you'd essentially be taking a second trade completely separate. What's up, Adachi? So Bart, if you're still here, the one that I just posted, give that a try. What that is, route equals limit, stop price equals high minus bid, price equals stop price. So don't worry about all that. The share equals 100. That's the amount that you want your stop loss to equal in dollar amount. So that's $100. So if you wanted it to be 50, it would be 50. So what this would do is if you hit short, if you hit this button, it's going to give you an order, and then it's going to put a stop price in at where a $100 loss would be. And it's also going to put a take profit at where $100 would be. So it's going to give you a 1-to-1. It's going to put a range order in for you. That's as close as we have to putting it all together. I don't think we've made one for like just one or the other. I'm sure you could change it from the stop type range here. I'm sure you could change that to stop type just like a regular stop. And then you could make this the high somehow. Like you wouldn't need the low price and stuff. You'd have to go through and put in just the stop price, like high of day +1 or high of day, whatever you want it to be. And then you would leave in the quantity position TIF day. Also, by the way, guys, one thing, DAS themselves, if you go to their website, they have a little chat in the bottom right-hand corner during market hours. If you are working on any hotkeys and you're kind of stuck on like something, how to fix it, they have helped me a lot. They've helped me learn a lot throughout actually trying to figure all this stuff out for myself. So if you're ever kind of caught up on something, that's a good place to go. They're pretty knowledgeable. There's been times where it's been just something silly, and they'll actually copy paste your hotkey, and they'll try it out, and they'll figure out what's wrong with it, and then they'll tell you what's wrong with it, and you can kind of fix it and all that good stuff. So yeah, their live chat's pretty awesome. All right. Okay, so who asked me about grill? Go team. Let me get this thing. Is so bright. It's like brighter than the light. Oh, here it is. David asked me about grill. Grill does a lot of pre-market movement. It seems to sell off before the open. It was a W pattern on the daily, but it's different on the 180. Guess I need my toolbar back, huh? It's not letting me go. Is this a new IPO? Excuse me. It's not letting me go back any further than February of this year. I mean, it looks like it held some pretty good support. Looks like it made a good move here in the after hours. I mean, you got some pretty good resistance coming up It was used once here, $2. You can see it was used a bunch here. Support over here as well. Sort of kind of used the support and resistance over here. So it's already at 186, so I really don't think there's too much range there on this. But if it gets through that, you got some room, at least up to this area here, 220. It's really not that much wiggle room here, 227. Then you got the gap fill there, 241. You start to look like one of those guru YouTubers where they just put all these lines on their chart. So when it goes up and finally hits one of them, they can be like, oh, it hit one of my lines that I had drawn there. I only usually look back a couple days. I mean, sometimes I'll look at the daily, but it's pretty rare that I feel like I need to. If I get into a trade and it continues and I'm like, wait, where's this thing going? Then I'll finally look at the daily. Something like Snap today. Like if I would have got caught in Snap today and it went through, I would have been like, all right, let's take a look at the daily. Why is this doing this? But then it's at all-time highs, so it really can just do whatever it wants. Thomas, that's too funny you say that. We were just talking about that. Me and Brian actually were talking about this. What was it, like last week, Brian, or the week before? I actually contacted DOS to ask them for that, and it's not a feature, but I kind of kept on them about it, and they're like, okay, we'll forward it to the devs. So maybe in their next update they'll have it. But David actually brought it up in the ISW chat today, and now you're bringing it up here tonight. It's kind of funny. Because that's what we were saying. It'd be nice to be able to just hit a button and put your average on the chart. It'd be pretty cool to have. Granted, you could do it yourself, but which I'm actually really surprised that I don't do that. Like, it wouldn't take that long. Because I always look over at my average. Like, where's my average? And really, all I got to do is just do it one time. I really maybe I'll start trying to do that. That was the other thing that I meant to tell you guys, was about how I actually scaled up today, sort of, which I'll get to in a second. Let me catch up. I'm not sure I use a different hotkey for a starter position without a stop, without the stop. So a normal short of price divided by 900, and then I hit a second hotkey with the 2% risk. So it's a 2100 position average with 2%. Gotcha. I mean, that makes sense. That way you're giving yourself room to add. But that's what I was getting at. Every time you hit the button, the 2% risk is now a new number. So it's 2% off of the new position size. One down. See if I'm even strong enough to do this. Oh, I got it. What are you talking about? I am not tinkering. All right. Who's paying for this one? Somebody hit me with the $10 dono. Drink this one. John just likes to give me a dono and leave. That's what he does. He doesn't like me. Thinks I'm only after his money, so he just comes here and gives it to me and leaves. See if I can do two back to back here. God. I can't get a grip on it. It's like still wet. This one won't go. Ow, ow, ow. I like smushed it. You can see it's like an oval now, but it wouldn't bend. Ow. That one like hurt. It was like digging. I got it though. So all I did was, hopefully this doesn't, yeah, it's going to if I don't. Oh, I can't even do that anymore. Son of a crapper. Oh, you know what I can do? Watch this. Do this. I don't even know. You can't even probably see that. Let me make it bigger. There we go. Look at that. It's almost like I'm getting good at thinking on my feet here. Whoop. Alrighty. So all I did was I changed this right here. Oops. Wait, oh, that's in here. How do I get rid of that? Control Z. There we go. So yeah, all I did was change that. I had it at 30. So, and the reason I did this is because if you realize it says realized and commissions. So I was kind of taking that into account. I didn't, because 3 losses at $40 would be 120. But if you take commissions into account, it might be a little bit less than that. So I didn't want it to get to that point. But I was having trouble because I told myself what was happening is if I entered a position looking to make 33% of my daily quota. So what I was doing is $30. I was trying to make $10 a trade. So it was 33% of that quota. What was happening is I wasn't allowing myself enough room to scale into the trade 112. So I was getting one entry, and if it kept going, I would get a second entry. And by that time, I was really close to that $30 max loss, and it wasn't allowing me enough room to really continue to play the stock and possibly get that second ad. And I'm talking like it would be at like 20, 22, but it was enough to where if I tried to add, I had to be on the top tick or else my $30 max loss would kick right in, kind of thing. So in order to kind of open it up a little, I was like, well, instead of trying to make quota in 3 trades, what if I just made it 4 trades, right? If my win percentage is still there, it's still going to be fine. Like it's one extra trade is not going to kill me. Plus on top of that, if I'm giving myself a little bit more room, it's going to allow me to stay in some trades a little bit longer. It's going to allow me to win some trades that I wouldn't normally have won if I would have like just top ticked them with an exit, or it's going to allow me to get an ad that I wouldn't have got, so it will bring my average up and we'll actually win more than that $10. So that's kind of what we're shooting for, and the $10 is really just what I'd be looking for on a single entry. So if I get in, and that's what I was doing here on Snap, and that's why I had my take profit orders where they were, is because that was about 50% of the move, because that's how I'm determining this. Like if we scroll in here, that's right, I did this. So on this move, right, it started down here. I was using this area here. I was looking for about half this move, which was also this previous resistance. And so when it came down, as you can see, it touched it, but we had our order right below that, just looking for it to break. Unfortunately, it didn't get there. We had it sitting at 39.75. But 39.75 was where my take profit was, because our entry wasn't exactly a top tick, so we didn't exactly get, it came down half the move, but we didn't get our entry high enough to where we could put our take profit at that level, right? So it came down, got about 50% of the move, tapped that previous resistance, and then it decided to go higher. We realized that we had a pretty good ad spot there, so we hit it on the backside, and that actually brought our take profit up. So now our take profit actually became that 39.80 area, and so that was where we put it, knowing that there was a good chance that we'd get there. And at this point, again, we have now committed to the trade. Why is it? I'm hitting the wrong button. We've committed to the trade when we add to the backside like this, so we're now going to be risking off high of day, which is exactly what we did, but we realized in the price action what was happening here, right? It kept getting bought up. It was making lower highs, or higher lows, sorry, and we immediately put our stop at break even, knowing that the way that it was kind of building and ramping up here, it was most likely going to squeeze, and that was exactly what it did. How did I know it was going to do that? I didn't know it was going to do that, but just in my 2 years of trading, I've started to pick up on these kinds of things. I started to realize if XYZ does this, or if X does this and Y does this, then Z is probably going to happen. If Y does this and X does this, then W is probably going to happen. Is that before X? But yeah. So that was the determining factor. And that's why I was so mad that I wasn't recording this morning, because me going through that in the moment was actually, I felt really confident about it. And then it actually panned out exactly how I saw it happening. And it would have been really good to show you guys, but I'm an idiot and just didn't hit record this morning. Alcium Capital is in Grill. Filed SC13 last month, just after the sell-off. Grill could hit $3, $3.50 in a few days with a gap fill. Yeah, I don't know anything about all that stuff, so I'm going to not talk about it. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I just don't know. But I would say, just looking at the chart, if we go back to the daily, was this a new IPO, by the way? Did anyone actually answer? I don't think anyone answered me. But yeah, I mean, looking at the daily, bouncing off the bottom like this, where's this line up? That's pretty close. A little bit of a fake out through. Hit a bunch of stop losses maybe that were chilling there. Eat up some liquidity. There was some pretty good amount of, was that the same day? 924, 925. So no, it wasn't. It's actually a pretty low volume day that day. Yeah. Brian reminded me. I had to hide this for a little while, but ooh, it's my crystal ball. Brian has one, so I had to get one of my own. So it is an IPO. Yeah, I was just making sure it wasn't the DOS chart because it wouldn't let me go back any further. I use trendline T9 determine where to profit. What the heck is trendline T9? A bottom trend line on Snap would have definitely helped to capture the entire move, especially with an early entry. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about there either. Look, nobody knew Snap was going to do this today. Nobody, I mean, this thing could have easily just rolled over and went, down to 35 today. Like, nobody knows what these things are going to do. Hindsight is always 20/20, and that's why the gurus always use hindsight. Yeah, the crystal ball was in full effect on that one. It worked. Yeah, I take half the move no matter where I enter. My error does not mean I should expect more. It works or it doesn't. Move on, accept the risk. Yeah? Man, I need a drink. I don't know how many percent is that. 1, 2, 3, 1 million %. It's just a trade, guys. It is just a trade. We talk about this all the time. Show up tomorrow. Do not let one trade take you out of the game. It's just one trade. This snap trade, sure, could have fought this thing all the way up, and you would have got burned. There's no way if you started this thing down here and you fought it all the way up here, unless you went absolutely ape shit on it up at the top here and played this absolutely perfectly, getting all your shares out right here. There's no way you were making money on this thing. It just wasn't happening. So it's one of those things where you don't know what's going to happen, but you should never let just one trade take you out of the game, right? If you're going to go apeshit on it like that, you better make sure that that's still a small percentage of your account, because there's no reason that you should ever be risking even half your account on any given trade. It makes no sense, let alone people that risk their whole accounts. That's just bonkers. Two. All right, let me go back and find. I use trendline to determine. Oh, okay. What trendline though? What trendline are you talking about here on Snap? This is where I get into arguments with people about this stuff, because you can sit here and draw trend lines for days, but these don't ever really make sense. Because, I mean, you could do this all day, right? You could draw that trend line, then you could draw this trend line, and then it goes back the other way. You could draw this trend line. You could draw support and resistance lines. So it's like if every time you have a trend line and you just played these trend lines, every single time they break, like that's what some people do. That's all they sit here and do is just play these trend lines. Go for it. Like that's your strategy. But this is complete hindsight. You're literally pulling up a chart in hindsight and saying, yeah, this would have worked here, this would have worked there, this would have worked there. It's like, you can't do that in real time. You don't know that it's going to bounce right off the trend line until it already does. And by the time it goes back to a, you're never going to play it right off the trend line because the trend line hasn't actually happened yet. The trend line doesn't happen until it goes up a little bit further. And now that the price is up here, you can now be like, okay, it bounced off that trend line. So now maybe if you have 2 points, because technically that point, why did it do that? That point was more like this. So even if you used here and here now, it never comes back down there. So how can you use that? So, I mean, I don't know. People have different strategies. You could do it however you want. But one thing I remember when I traded like this, using trend lines and support resistance, they were very inconsistent. They were very 50-50. So if that's you, then that's you. I'm not gonna argue with you, but when I used to argue with people about this stuff, I would just try to prove to you that you're looking at it in hindsight. I've had so many people come to me, well, look at this chart. Well, look at this chart. Look at this chart. It would have worked. Look at this chart. It would have worked. And then I would go and be like, look at this chart. It wouldn't have worked. Look at this chart. It wouldn't have worked. And it's like, for every chart you show me that it would have worked, I can go find a chart and show you that it wouldn't have worked. Everyone's so biased because it's their strategy and they want it to work all the time. Well, in reality, it doesn't. And I just told Thomas this today, that it's not how you win that defines you as a trader. It is not. Anyone can win. It's easy to win, right? When you're winning, right? It's easy. But when you lose, how you lose is what defines you as a trader. And people don't understand that, because it's easy to win, right? But once you are stuck in a losing position, how you handle and manage that trade, that is what's going to define you as a trader, because that is the hard part. Losing is the hard part. Trend line 2, trend line 3. Hey, now, what's the best vid you have for DOS hotkey or hot button setup? I really enjoy following you, bro. Dang it. I just literally earlier in the stream said I'm going to be redoing that, but I do have one. People have actually been commenting on it lately. I guess it must have got a little bit of the algorithm. Let me, I'll send you the link to it real quick. I actually thought I guess I'm not really partnered with them, so it wouldn't make sense. So this is my older video, and excuse my non-hat wearing head. It's very rare, but I just linked it in the chat. That one will kind of get you through, like, maybe the basics, like what you want to know. But I do try, I plan to try to go into a little bit more detail here. It's either going to be next week during the week I'm going to make this video, or if I don't make it next week during the week, I'm definitely going to make it next weekend. I've been meaning to do it for a few months now, but I've had a lot of stuff going on, so I've just been kind of putting it off. But that stops now. I'm going to start getting back on schedule with doing some videos that I've been meaning to do. The end had volume climax. Ooh. Don't be talking about climaxes around me, man. Especially when I've been drinking. Above whole number and trend line, I take those often on the top of the slope. Is that what you did on Snap yesterday? Oh, sorry. Dig. Today on Snap, I fought it till my daily max per trade loss. I put my range order in, went back to work. I was happy once I put it in because I'm done. It works or it didn't. That's true. And Thomas is the perfect example of having a system, following your system. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's one trade. It's one trade. If it doesn't work, who cares? It's one trade. Your system in place is there for a reason. If your system says this is how much you're going to lose if you lose the max amount, then guess what? That's going to happen. You put that system in there when you were thinking clearly, when you were not in the moment trading somewhere at night, 10 at night, you were sitting there thinking, my strategy is this. You're not trading. You're clearly thinking, this is what would work best for my strategy. You put it in place. The next morning comes. It's time to trade. You get caught in a situation where, should I put the stop in here because that's what my strategy says? Or this trade looks too good. It'll probably only go a little bit higher than my max loss, and then it'll come back down. And I'm gonna see what it does there. Right? How many people have been in that situation where they are too emotional in the moment, in the heat of the moment, to actually make that decision to follow your own system that you put in place when you were clearly thinking, when you weren't emotionally thinking because you're in the trade? That system you made it. You made this system. It's your job to implement that in the heat of the moment. When the times get tough and you're in that losing situation, that is your job to protect your money. This is your money that you're putting up every single day. It's your job to protect it. Yes, you want to grow the account, but you can't grow the account if you keep losing more than you're supposed to on any given trade because you can't follow your own system. You put that there. Follow it. It's just one trade. Don't be afraid to take that loss. Ever since I put a max loss in place, it has made a world of difference. I know that every single trade that I get in, this is the max that I can lose. And I'm okay with that because I know that that's only a certain percentage of my account. So if I get into a trade and this is all I can lose, there's no way that that's going to affect me overall. But if I know that I can just make that, if I lose a max loss, I can make that back in 4 trades, just 4 single, like low minimum win trades, I'm fine with that. Especially knowing I can probably make that back in 2, like 3, maybe even 2 trades, right? It's very possible. But if you're constantly breaking your rules that you made when you had a clear head, then you have other problems before you can decide that. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm getting at there. As far as you need to fix that. You can't be doing that is what I'm getting at. Zedge, Socket, Dogzy as some examples if you want to trade the front side. Check those charts. Yeah, those are the ones that went pretty nutso today, aren't they? These were all, I remember, I believe Mullet Man traded these today, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, this is actually a pretty awesome one. Broke that pre-market high, fake out, and kaboom. Fake out. SCKT. The heck? I had to make sure I was on the 2-minute there. I thought I was on the 1 minute looking at this thing. What the heck is this? Looks like somebody's heartbeat. Bloop 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 bloop. Boo. Sorry, I thought that was coming. Dogsy. Yeah, another one. Look at that. It's from pre-market highs. Little fake through. It's like the same price. ZDGE. Oops. ZDGE. 320. DOGZ. 310. Oh yeah, 320. I get to 340. Like the same exact thing. Wonder, did we have shares on these? Just curious. I mean, it might be different now. Says we did on Zedge. Dog Z. It says we did too, but it was on SSR. Why is that on SSR? Why would this be on? Oh, well, I guess, yeah, I guess the day before. That's the problem with these smaller price stocks. They can go on SSR pretty quickly. Totally agree with you on hindsight. Easy to play Monday morning quarterback. Yeah. And it happens all the time. It's actually why I stopped watching most other trading YouTube channels, is because just listening to them talk, it's a little frustrating, because it's like, and literally anyone, even someone that's new to trading, could get on here and tell you exactly what he's saying. Well, it's like, this went up and tested pre-market highs and it was a fake out breakout and it came down and bounced, and this would have been a perfect entry for a short, right? Came up, tested the whole $1.03, got rejected. That would have been a beautiful short. No shit, Sherlock. You could see what it did afterwards. Get out of here. Ah, it's so annoying. I tell, me and David have this conversation probably once a day. Something will happen on one of our trades. Like, we'll get out of the trade and it'll like spike down or spike up. Like, it'll go either in our favor or against us. And it'll be like, oh, I believe it was actually just today that I said something, but he said something along the lines of, man, I wish I would have stayed in this trade. And I was like, okay, that's hindsight. Now imagine if the hindsight was this thing bounced and went through high of day and just ripped, right? And just absolutely ripped up to like $5. And I was like, then you would be saying, man, I'm really glad I cut this trade, right? It's all hindsight. You can't sit back and hindsight trade. You just can't do it. When you're done with a trade, just be done with the trade. Go find another one. Go move on. Go try to find another one. Don't just find another one because you're FOMOing into one, but go look for your setup again. There's no reason. I mean, I'm still guilty of this. You can ask anybody that I trade with. I'm still guilty, but I have 6 charts up. So usually if I'm done with a trade, I just go to a different chart, but that one's still there. And I'll be like, oh, it started dumping. And I'll be like, oh, this chart made me look stupid. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the stock does after you get out of it. You're out of it. Who cares, right? It's the same mentality of hitting max loss on another ticker. You hit the max loss. Who cares? Move on. You put that max loss there for a reason. So that's the max you could lose. You were wrong. That trade, you were wrong. You are not going to be right 100% of the time. Stop thinking you are. You're not going to be. So that max loss is there in case you were very wrong. Not every loss is going to be a max loss, but when it is, it is. Who cares? Move on. Move on. Move on. Thanks for the link for Hotkeys. Can't wait for the updated video. Yeah, I'm going to get that out, man. I still suck at losing. That was a blind scale. It is easy to trade. All you do is click a button, but to do it consistently is hard. It's true, guys. You only hit buy and sell. That's all you got to do. Where you hit buy and sell consistently, though, that's the question. Alpine. Since you're over PDT, you would be killing on these? Yeah. Maybe I should start seeing if Ross is streaming in the morning on YouTube. Just wait for these to happen. They are scary, though. These things can get out of control, that's for sure. But it's usually the same story pretty much every day. It's very rare that you get one that goes against you. And if it does, that's what the max loss is for. Hey, what was your trend line from yesterday to today's pre-market? Yeah, how'd those trend lines work for you on Snap, mister? Jag, thanks for stopping by, man. Good night. Too long, didn't read. I didn't use trend lines on Snap. Just scaled in. So you didn't follow your system is what you're saying. I'm assuming. I don't really know what your system is. I feel like it changes a lot. We'll call you Tinker. We'll call you TAA. Ta. Start calling you Ta. Tinker, Ally, Tinker, Akbar. Ta-ta. I don't agree, respectfully. Studying a trade after you took it can make you better the next time a similar situation happens. Oh, I'm not saying don't study a trade after it happens. Oh, I'm not saying that at all, Biz. No, 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 no. I'm sorry. If that's how you took that, I'm sorry. I'm saying right then and there, when that trade's over, right then and there, you need to mentally move on from that trade. That trade happened. It's over. Move on to the next trade. That's what I'm saying. Trust me, there is no part of me that doesn't want you to go back at the end of the day and review all of your trades. That journaling is something that I could not express my gratitude towards even more than I already do, because being able to, and again, that's why I started this YouTube channel. Part of why I started this was to journal my trades just in video format so that I could go back and review them. Trust me, I want everyone to review their trades. I've always said, if you have the ability to record your screen, which is, it's not hard to do nowadays, do it. Go back and watch your trades after you've made them. You'll start to see patterns happen that you didn't even know you were doing in the moment. Like I said, guys, emotions are a real thing. And if you can, get a cheap webcam. Put your face on that screen. Be able to see your face. When you're in a losing trade versus a winning trade, you're going to see huge differences in your face. And it will tell you stories that you're not going to know otherwise. You're not going to be able to review a trade later in the day and think back to how you were feeling during that trade. I mean, if you're very anxious or something like that, you could figure it out. But if you have your face right there along with the trade, you can just see it. You can't miss it. You'll see exactly how you were feeling during that trade. So I highly recommend, if there's a way that you can figure out how to get a webcam or just whatever and record your face, use OBS. It's free to record your screen. I highly recommend that you do it. It will make a ton of difference. Get a cheap taser. I can make my extreme series, day trading while getting tasered. I'm becoming a lightweight. I'm like already starting to feel it. I didn't really eat much this afternoon, minus those 3 sliders. This crystal ball is so cool. It's really heavy. Surprised at how heavy it is. I always show up as the Cheshire Cat on video. Weird but true. I'm still waiting for Brian to show me his face. He's going to make me wait until I meet him in person. And even then, he's probably going to wear like a Jason mask. We'll come up to the bar where he says he's at, and he'll just be wearing a Jason mask. Where'd everybody go? Everybody left me. It's a slow day. I just remember my dad's birthday's in 2 days. It's on Sunday. Vegas for Halloween? That's next weekend, right? Let's do it. I'll fly out there for Halloween if it ain't too expensive. Just for the weekend. I probably shouldn't, though, because of the kids, right? Should probably be responsible. Yeah, let's do it next year. Probably shouldn't do it on Halloween, though. At least not for me yet, because of the kiddos. 2020 is a stooped year. Stupid. I'm assuming you meant stupid. Or is stooped a word that I don't know? Let's Google. Stooped. Stoop is a word. Treat with a stoop. How is it telling me what stoop means if it says treat with a stoop? Stoop. What does it mean? It doesn't say it means anything. What is a stoop? The state of being extremely excited for an upcoming event or activity. I'm so stooped for this concert tonight. That's the Urban Dictionary, though. But the one under that says the Free Dictionary. It says stooped is slang for a stupid person. Yeah. I've never heard the word stooped before. Interesting. I'll be a doctor for Halloween. I'm just gonna buy a Baker Mayfield jersey. Apparently everyone tells me I look like Baker Mayfield, so I'm just gonna be Baker Mayfield. That is such a good beer. When I was trying like the craft beer phase, I didn't like any of the IPAs. And I just was like, I don't even remember when I first tried this. I just did, and I was just like, that is really good. And I've just been drinking it ever since. That was years ago now. Anybody have any questions? Damn what? Damn what? What's up? I don't really think that's sneaking what you're doing, but how to stop going on tilt? Do I hug a teddy bear and cry when I lose? That might work. You could try that. It's right there. And you can see you right there. You have issues. Cry harder. Brian said, Laura! Yeah, how do you know that was her, Brian? Hmm? Hmm? I knew it! Hey! Did you hear that? Oh, man. The life I live. When you break your rules, use a flogger. Use a flogger. Excuse me. Perfect. Did you guys just see what she said? I don't know if the delay is that bad. Let me hit play. Oh, if the delay is that bad. Oh, that's actually pretty good. There's like no delay. A flogger. That's what he was saying. Perfect to the flogger. Let's see. Flogger. Oh, it's like the paddle from Dazed and Confused. Oh. I do have to wake up early tomorrow morning. So, this is me again asking if there's any questions. If not, I'm going to send you all on your merry way. You can always find me on Discord, Twitter, all that good stuff. But yeah, might actually call it a night. You have to learn to recognize when you're being emotional, journal to see the patterns. It is only when you are aware of them that you're able to trade with them. Have to embrace them. Don't fight them. Brian is a man of wisdom. Listen to him. He's giving you these tidbits for free. Write them down. It's like Van Wilder's dad. Write that down. I already have like 10 times. And I still don't listen. Nobody ever listens. Looking at you, David. God, my pinky. Fuck. Playing softball. This is probably a month ago now. And I dove for a ball and I landed on my freaking hand. And I bruised the bone. Like the knuckle area on my pinky. And it's bruised bone. I'm sure you guys have had one before. It freaking hurts and it does not go away. Nobody ever listens. It's the best quote. I was telling my mom this today. I can explain something to you, but I can't understand it for you. That is such a good one. Such a good one. Your mom used to beat you and you still didn't listen. Exactly. So if you're making mistakes and you have no one to beat your ass, so you eventually listen, how are you going to figure it out, right? It's your it's your job to figure that shit out. Slick, what's up, man? Yeah, you're pretty late. I'm actually getting ready to get off, unless you have any questions. The secret is the emotions never go away, but you learn to do your job, aka trade, even when you're uncomfortable. It's very true. I'm going to start getting pretty uncomfortable myself now that I'm going to start upping the share size. But now all of next week I'm going to do it this way, and we're going to really start trying to hit our goal every day. I really need to start being a little bit more aggressive on some of my trades, like actually entering some trades, because we're just in a market right now where I feel like I'm not getting what I'm looking for that often. You had a gig. I bet you nailed that shit. Did you play a Paula Abdul? Think of a fighter pilot or something. He is probably scared as hell if he's getting shot at, but he's still doing his job because he has learned to do it anyway. That's a good point. Training, practice, repeat. Yes, sir. I can't tell you, when I first started using ISW, I want to say it was like 3, maybe 4 months. I was trading during the day. And at night, I would come back in my free time before I went to bed and trade more. I would go back on Thinkorswim's On Demand and just go back and find trades that I didn't take. And I forget who it was. I want to say it was Devin, or it was somebody. I was asking him to give me trades that took off that day and like what time they started to take off. And I would try to trade them. That's what I would do. My nighttime consisted of 2 to 3 hours of me just trading, practicing. It's no different than practicing for a sport or anything. It's all relative. It's how much hard work and dedication do you want to put into this. People aren't just going to come into this and be able to figure it out. It's just not how it works. The screen time, the experience, all of that is needed. It's no different than playing t-ball when you first start playing baseball because you don't know how to play baseball, all the way up to playing in the major leagues. It's no different. That's what this is. All these people that come in and they're, t-ball players, but they're expecting to play in the major leagues. Sure, you're given that shot, right? This is an even playing field. Everyone's allowed to come onto the playing field, but just because you're allowed onto the playing field doesn't mean you're not going to go up against, major league pitchers. You stand no chance. That's just how it is. So you have to work your way up. You have to get that experience. You have to get that screen time. You have to get your swings in, right? It's all relative. No matter how you want to look at it. You want to do baseball, you want to do poker, whatever kind of analogy you want to give it, it's all the same. You have to put the work in. You have to put the time in. And you have to stick around, right? That's where the risk management comes in. We did not. The band never learned it. You clearly learned it. It was in the video. Panama for EVH. Nice. did not get what I want unless I get a cup of coffee. Is there a way to like comments? Brianna comments are so on point. Because they're calling him Brianna. I never even thought about just adding an A. That's so good. $10K hours? Damn. I'd actually have to sit down and think. How many trading days are in a year? 265? Is it 265? I think it's 265. Or is it 260? Many trading days in a year. 252. So 252 trade on average an hour and a half a day. That's 500. We'll just say 500. So about 15. So I have about 1,500 hours probably. Actually, it's probably more than that. Like if you want to even round up to 2,000, that's still only 2,000. And Brian's saying it takes 10K. And I've been doing this for over 2 years now. I'm not even a fifth of the way there. 4 bands ago. Gotcha. You just need to plug into the Neo Matrix learning tool thing. I know how to trade now. How cool would that be? Just get a jolt to the back of the head and you just go, you come out and you're freaking the best trader in the world. Like Bradley Cooper in Limitless. Just seized the market. You're both wrong. It was 252. Maybe that's this year. I don't know. Maybe it changes. It's about 5 years of practicing for perfection to master anything. You can do 10K if you do overtime. I bet you I'm closer to like 2,500 to 3,000. Like if you put in all the studying and like if you include all that, I guarantee I'm over 3,000 hours. But if you're only including like actual trading, and if it's only actual trading during the market and not like practice trading, then yeah, I'm probably closer to like 1,000 or like 1,500. I don't sit here and trade, 8 hours a day. It's only like 14 hours a day for me. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Thomas. I don't know if you would count the studying and whatnot, but 10K with Forex trading. I just don't understand. Like Forex and futures and all that, I've looked into them, and they don't really make the moves that I look for that stocks do. So I just don't even bother going over there. And the kind of people that I see all over the place in the social media aspect of futures and Forex, I want nothing to do with that. Like, I don't even want to be close to associated with any of that. You got like 16-year-old kids trying to act like they own Ferraris and Lambos, and like, no thank you. If you watch Bitcoin 24 hours a day. Yeah. I don't have any Bitcoin. I sure do not. Hey, Thomas, Brianna, you want to give away a week real quick? I'm getting out of here. Maybe we can make this a weekly thing. I kind of like it. Maybe they'll actually show up this time, huh? We had the person who won last week. They didn't even show up, guys. They didn't even show up. Shh, Thomas, shh. All right, let's do it. If you want to win a free week in the team room, ISW, get all the good scanners, be with us in the chat room for an entire week. Next week, put one in the chat. I'm going to get out my trusty little cool Google wheel, random number generator wheel that I love so much. Get out my trusty notepad. Did you guys hear that? Are you up there? I heard her. 16. I'm not telling you to pick numbers. I said just put one. Just put the number 1 down there. What are you guys doing? I wish I could like put names in there. That'd be even cooler. Random name, or how about that? Name, wheel spin, spinner. Wheel of names? Is this it? Can I put the names in there? Oh yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Love it. Okay. So now I don't have to like write them all down. I can just put you in there. Brad. Oops. All right. Brad. A-N. Slick. Steps to getting rich: 1, rent Lambo for your stream. 2, sell courses. 3, buy a deep learning algo from that. 4, profit. Yeah. Thomas. Beesh. Oh, you can't get out of here. Got a 1 in 4 chance. It was kind of a slow stream tonight. This thing's pretty cool. I like this. I like it a lot better because it's got the names on there. Alrighty, here we go. We're going to do this and then I'm going to get out of here because I'm tired and I got to wake up pretty early. So we got, did I miss anybody? I'll give it one last little chance here. Brad, Slick, AN, and Thomas. We good? You never, yeah, but you can't win now. You can't already be amazing and be more amazing. Yeah, you're a winner. We real quick. Double A. I mean, he's kind of. I'm not gonna give a success story speech, but since he's been with ISW and we've been grilling things into his head, he's in an uptrend. That's all I'll say. And if he stays away from his emotions, he's doing great. That's all I'll say. But he knows this. He knows this. All right. Good luck to you guys. Here we go. As always, if you win, hit me up in the Discord and I will get you the information. It's obviously up to you if you want to use it or not. I don't understand the people that want to win, and then don't use it. It makes no sense to me. But here we go. No, he's Tata, not just Ta. We added another T in there, so it's Tata. Here we go. Ah, this is so good. Oh, there's even sound. Oh, you didn't hear it all the way. Oh, that's so dirty. And you are the winner, my sir. Did you see how that just kept Brad's like, yes, and then it just kept. Guess what? Brad, you get one too. Brian's going to give me 2 of them. Keegan, you're too late. Sorry. That was dirty. Brad doesn't deserve that. That was dirty. Both of you, Ann and Brad, message me on Discord. We're going to hook you up. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did lose. We're going to hook you up. Thanks. I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you do have any additional questions, by the way, that you didn't think of while we were here, feel free to leave those down in the comments when this thing processes, on any of the videos for that matter. Find me in the Discord. Find me in the Twitter. And all I have to say is have a good weekend. Find a good drink. You know, make yourself feel good. Well, I guess you can do that other ways. I'm not going to get into that. And yeah, like and subscribe. Brian, appreciate that. Have a good weekend. Cheers. I'll drink on as we end. Thomas, fuck off with your options trading. Night night.